Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of my Pillars of Eternity Let's Play. Previous episode was short and not sweet. However, I did manage to get rid of the were they ogres attacking the village. Unfortunately, I was not able to rescue the person in there, but I was so worried I was going to lose Palagina. And I was quite anxious to finish recording as well, to be perfectly honest. So there we are. I believe I need to find an inn quite urgently. Could that be? Yeah. Resting, I think, is quite important right now. Everyone is exhausted, critically
Don't see the
fatigued,
harm.
injured.
Building's thirsty work.
Hello?
Figured you'd be out of here in a flash after the fighting died down. Most people don't stick around after they figure out the ogres are making regular visits.
They'll come back.
I would have helped fight them monsters off, you know, if I didn't think I'd just get in the way. And with you there to handle things, everything turned out well enough, didn't it? Don't see why Havrick's still sour at me.
Okay, tell me, what's that about Havrick?
Oh, Havrick's the innkeeper over at the Grave's Rest. I may have been hiding in the inn when the fighting started. The raid didn't improve his disposition any. Did you know he has a whole case of Fenlin liquor in there? I keep offering to buy it off him, but he says he's saving it up for when the battery's open again. As if we're gonna last that long. Anyhow, he said he'd thrash me up and down the mountain if I didn't leave him be.
It seems reasonable to save it for a special occasion. Indeed, you hid while everyone else risked their life, me included. You coward.
That's, that's what Havrick said, actually. Look, I'm not proud of it, but I'm no warrior. What am I gonna do? Throw a net on them?
And what you worry about is the drink, honestly. Just, you can't have both. Not fight
They
and want a
say
good
a
drink.
single drop changes your life. You'll never want to have a drink of anything else. Probably that's all rubbish, but it's supposed to be very good. It's delusional is what it is. Point of fact, what with you dealing with ogres and everything, maybe you'd, you know,
No,
be willing to help me out.
not a chance.
Averick keeps all the good stock in the inn cellar. Out of sight, you see. I mean, it's bound to be under lock and key, but I'm sure he wouldn't miss a single bottle. Not with everything that's going on.
I'm not robbing the innkeeper for a guy who didn't fight.
Shh, all right, keep it down. I didn't mean anything by it. But if you happen to come across some, then maybe you could share?
We'll see about that. Let's go in. A good night rest, that's what I need. Silver lining, we have a new loading screen. Alright, let's see. What do we have? A bard, a
I
villager.
dread discovering what passes for cuisine in this place.
Well, we'll find out. Villager, child.
Oh, Wena! Go check on that Orlin. Make sure he don't steal nothing.
That would be the owner. Just want to have a look around. That is stealing, obviously. I won't do that. Right now. We do
Ooh.
have...
Still can't feel my fingers.
We have a number of unique people. Okay. Okay, let's talk to the innkeeper first.
Never seen such a bloodbath. Feels like we got half the town's survivors in here, just drinking to forget it. But you must be looking for some refreshment, too, after the way you handled them ogres. Or perhaps a room. Say the word and I'll give that shifty little Orlin the boot.
Well, no, I don't want you to kick someone out for me. I'm not going to sell him out just yet. What Orlin?
Showed up a few days ago, sticks his nose out of the back room just long enough to empty his chamber pot.
He squints towards the hole as if daring the Orland to show himself.
Up to no good, I tell ya. I'd like nothing more than to see him gone, but I don't want a ruckus over it.
What makes you so sure he's trouble? I mean, that seems a little,
We get our share of lowlifes coming through here. Smugglers, fugitives, kith looking to avoid the sharp eye of the law.
So?
Way he's keeping to himself. Well, honest kith sure don't have cause for it.
Talk to him.
I'd appreciate it. And I suppose I don't need to remind you that I don't want you to hurt him. I'm sure you can find a more discreet way of handling the problem.
He gives me a meaningful look. I'm not saying I'm going to get rid of him. I just want to find out who he is.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
I'd like a room.
Top quality bear pelts on every bed. You won't be disappointed.
Brilliant. I can't afford that. My goodness, I'm so poor. So, +2 dexterity, +2 might. Or just +2 dexterity. Huh. Alright, that was odd. I
Of
wouldn't
course, if
expect
it's okay, I'm
pillars
gonna
to
wait
be a
by
game
that fire there
crashes.
while you do that thing with the battery.
Owena! Go check on that Orland. Make sure he don't steal nothing. Never seen such a bloodbath.
Let's,
But you
let's
must be
go
looking
through
for some
that quickly
refreshment.
again.
Showed up a few days ago. Up to no good, I tell you. I'd appreciate.
Okay. Then
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do? Top
I want a
quality
room.
bear pelts.
wanna rest. Okay, alright. I have no idea why the game would crash. Alright, injuries gone. Good. Let's talk to the adventurers that were down there.
Still can't feel my fingers.
Farah.
Thought I'd found shelter when I stumbled across this little village. Guessing you did too, huh?
Farah raises a frosty mug to you. Even though the warmth of the hearth reaches through here, her hands are wrapped up in weird wool and her ears muffled by a hat. Her face has the taunt, wind-bitten look of someone who's recently come from the road.
As much
Okay.
blood as there was in the streets, I'm lucky the ale's still flowing.
What happened to
Thought
you?
all the whispers about Durgan's battery were just village superstition. And maybe they are. But I might have been on my guard if I'd listened. I was part of an expedition, hunting for relics from Durgan's battery. We picked up a good haul, too. So it figures that's when the winds pick up and the sky starts dumping snow. We lost sight of the road. Meanwhile, something else found us. Took Liam out before we even realized we were surrounded. And then we see him coming out of the snow. These little four-armed wilder. Lagufoth, they're called.
Lagofoth, okay.
Quick little bastards. Francesca and I held them off as long as we could, but when they filled her full of darts, I turned tail and ran. Found my way here and thanked my luck for escaping the Lagufoth. Then come to find out that this town's got an ogre problem.
Sorry to hear about your friend.
That's a kind sentiment. I'll mourn them when I get home. But I've got to retrieve our haul if I'm to have any hope of that. I need to get those artifacts. Not that I'm in any shape to go after them myself. But I can't afford to return to Defiance Bay without something to show for my expedition. But you've got your own expedition to the battery, don't you? While you're out there, maybe you could look for my goods. Whatever's left of them. I'll give you a cut for anything you bring back, of course. I ain't asking for charity. I just can't afford to go home empty-handed.
Okay, what are we looking for?
Like I said, we were treasure hunting near Durgan's battery when we were ambushed. What else do you want to know?
Okay, what are the relics?
We took out several loans to pay for our trip out here. I'm gonna have trouble if I don't pay them back.
I see. Where was the caravan?
What's left of it should be near Durgan's battery. If you stumble across the Lagufoth, you'll know you're close.
Brilliant. How do you know, or what do you know about Durgan's battery?
Just that it's been locked up tight for 200 years on account of those dwarves having a row. Which means that any trinkets from inside fetch a nice price. Sorry, I'm more of a businesswoman than a historian.
I see. Okay, well, we got a quest. Hey there, good timing. You can watch me trounce Bearthorwin. Good fun, of course. A good way to lose a finger, sure. Once, Andred. You won once. What are you playing? You're playing games. What about the ogre attack? Good point. What? We won, didn't we? That is, you won, really. We just lived through it. Yeah. We're not risking the road just yet, with the ogre still out there, so we're stuck here. Might as well play. Okay. What are you playing then? Orlan's Head. That's what they call it. You pick a target. See, nose or ear. Nose is worth more, but you've got 2 ears to work with. Get less points the further out from the target you get. So for the mouth and eyes, no points if you miss. Fancy a game? 3 throws each, and whoever gets the most point by the end of it wins the wager. I'll put down £50 if you will. No, I don't like that. It is tasteless indeed. No, I didn't name it. Don't take it so serious. Not like we're using a real Orlan. Right. No, not right now. Why don't they just call it, you know, darts? Let's go to the room and talk to an actual Orlan. Lots of gamblers and someone to talk to. Let's do that. The hero of the hour. Heffenrick sent you down to check on us. We aren't causing trouble, on my word. Right, who are you? Humble fisherman. Tough with the ogres coming down all the time. Well, let's sooner fish for truth down a bottle for the time being. You don't know where I could find it. I'm not going to look for the liquor. What are you playing? I don't really want to play, but out of curiosity. Dozens. Care to test your luck. Each of us puts down £50. 3 wins and you take the 100. Could explain the rules if you like. No, I don't feel like playing. Stealing.
Careful. Havrick's very particular about his wines.
I'm not surprised. It's all stealing. Not interested. I'd rather go upstairs or to the bedrooms. There's no upstairs apparently. Anyone here? This is still stealing. It's fair, it's fair.
Excuse me, was there something you need?
Apparently not, I'm sorry. I'm guessing that would be the Orlan I need to talk to.
Not to be rude, but I'm rather busy. Can't you get another room?
Send me to check on you. He thinks you're up to, well, he dislikes Orlan, so of course he thinks you're up to something. I'm gonna go with a straightforward one.
What? Oh no. No.
Oh my god. He's in a panic.
Is she there? Did you see her?
I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm just gonna ask you.
Devala. That woman. The slaver, she... I was a slave in Raid Ceres. I ran away. Made it here. The mountains are usually the best place to lose slavers, but Devala's one of the best.
I believe him. Alright. Perhaps we should tell someone. I don't want to turn you in. Tell me what you want. I don't want to be nasty to him. I'm so sorry. Can I help? Well, first let's see if the authorities can do
Slavery
anything.
may be illegal here, but I wouldn't be the first runaway to get nabbed in a town like this, while some local trapper gets a nice payday.
True.
Besides, you spoke with Havric. I've kept him myself and paid on time, and he assumes the worst.
True.
I just want to get out of here. I've scraped together enough money to reach New Haelmar.
Well, do that. That's hardly an improve. It's lovely and you'll love it. So you know the place, Alof?
But the locals talk about a Raid Saren party, camped west of town.
Yes?
It's got to be Devala. She's been after me since the foothills. I'll pay you if you can get rid of her. I don't care how.
We'll see. Okay, so there's a slave hunter to track down. And Durgan's battery to explore. Let's see if I can pick up a few quests in the village before heading out either into the wild or straight to Durgan's battery. I'm sort of expecting there are things to do before going for Durgan's battery. You look like someone I can
Been looking
talk to.
everywhere for you.
Yeah, you have? The man is sweating despite the cold. He opened his mouth to speak, but all that comes out is a loud hacking cough. Oh. He bends forward, bracing his hands on his thighs while he heaves and gasps. After a lengthy duration, he raises a finger, still panting. All Hefric's fault. Damn fool sent me to the other side of town looking for you. Really? At last he stands again. He wipes his dripping brow with the back of his hand and then offers that hand to you in greeting. Looking at the options. Pick your nose, then shake his hand. I mean, okay, fine. Now he's coughing as well. I'm probably contagious. I can't lie. You know what? I'll be brave. I'm gonna shake his hand. Oh, so brave. I'm closing my eyes as I do that. Pleasure to meet you. I'm the captain of the militia around here. Nice to meet you. Really, I didn't see you during the ogre attack. Yep, that's right. I see. I was guarding the Grefsrest. Someone had to make sure those ogres didn't burn it down like they did Keddy's house. Right. And I shook your hand, and you're a coward. I wanted to catch you before you went running off into the wilds. See, there's a few dangerous folks you might be on the lookout for. Plus, if you're heading out to Longwatch Falls, I thought you could pick up a thermal pearl for me. You want me to find a thermal pearl? Okay, tell me about that. That's the thing. I already found it. I just need someone else to go and get it. Saw it in those hot springs up near Longwatch Falls. Would have grabbed it myself, but that's when I looked round and saw the Logorfith. Yeah, nasty things. 4 arms. 50 of them, naturally. I would have thought, but I started to wonder what the rest of Stalwart would do without me, so I ran. Oh my goodness, you're such a coward. What is a thermal pearl anyway? They form in the hot springs, something to do with the minerals, okay. Smell kind of funny, but they're full of minerals, just have to crumble them into a pint. He grins and you notice that his gums are bleeding. Ah, but I shook his hand. Survival 4, they cure scurvy. Yeah, he might need that. Like I said. The pearls in one of the thermal ponds near Longwatch Falls shouldn't be hard to spot. Okay, tell me about the falls. It's east of Stalwart, got some nice views of the valley, but most folk avoid it these days. Plenty of wilder nearby, and it only takes a few inches of snow to block the path. If you're heading out that way, I'd suggest talking to Thirsk. He might have something to help you deal with the, four-armed creatures. Okay. Alright, farewell, you coward. It's like the place is full of people hiding and then asking for something. I don't expect it's going to be very large in there. So it's going to be more time looking at the screen than the loading screen.
They've destroyed the stockade, Mother. It's...
Okay, calm down.
Enough. They're gone.
Hey, someone with a face. She holds up her hand, which is missing the final joint of the ring finger, but it's her voice, sharp and surly, that silences the young man. As he glowers at his toes, she turns to you with dark circles under her eyes and a smile pulled taut across her thin lips.
The deliverer of Cadnua. Thank you for making the journey. Abida knows it's a long one.
Yeah, I just went twice to rest in between the fight, but it was a long journey.
Well, I'm sure you wagered on a more civilized welcome. Still, we're much obliged for your capable intervention.
He pulls a knife from his belt and an apple from his pocket and sets to work. Okay. There's a job that needs doing. That's what I'm here for. It's an honor to be called here. Charming place like this. Let's not be sarcastic. It was no trouble. It was trouble. I was told it has to do with Durgan's battery. I'm gonna go with number 5.
What's in it, to be exact? Stalwart isn't much more than a grease stain on a map. What roads we've got in the White March are basically tracks in the snow. And for every trader or adventurer that comes through, 3 of our own leave for good. But it weren't always so. There was a time when kings and queens sent their firstborn to these mountains, when the White March was the envy of empires.
How the mighty have fallen. Thank you, Eloth. What does this have to do with me? That was all in the past. What an era that must have been for the White March. I'm gonna go with number 3.
The Pargrin dwarves transformed the White March once. We could bring some of that greatness back to Stalwart. But we need the White Forge.
Never heard of it, because I'm not a mountain dwarf.
Of course. Been over 200 years since anyone's felt so much as a summery breeze near it. I'm hoping you can do something about that.
Me? Work a forge? I've never done anything like that. How so?
We've been trying to breach Durgan's battery for over a year now. Problem is, the other expeditions can't so much as dent the front door.
Tell me about the other expeditions. Why the sudden interest? True.
We're an old mining town. Or we were until the Adirans pulled out and left us with a half-dug mineshaft and something resembling an inn. Since then, it's been a steady decline. You've seen the roads. Isn't much we can produce that the Valians can't ship cheaper.
It is what we do. Yes, they trade, don't they?
But the White Forge... Well, if we could fire it up again and start producing Durgan steel, or something close to it, wouldn't matter if we're in the White March or the Living Lands. Business would come.
The young man says nothing, but he tosses a sliver of the apple peel into the fireplace. I wonder if this is there, just to paint a picture, or it's got, any sort of significance. Tell me about the other expeditions.
A dozen different groups have come through at our request, and several more besides. Been hoping that one of them could clear the way through Durgan's battery. But young or old, green or seasoned, it don't seem to matter. They cast their spells, chisel at the door, and search the grounds until they've worn new treads into the old stone. The lucky ones eventually go home. Plenty more find themselves on the wrong side of a blizzard, or an ogre raiding party. That's the long and short of it. We're laborers and fisherfolk, not adventurers. But Durgan Steel could put Stalwart on the map again, open up the mines, bring in new business. We just need the White Forge.
So what's special about it?
Because you can shave stone with it, cleave cast iron in two, and the stuff's as rare as it is remarkable.
In her enthusiasm, Renigold shifts on the balls of her feet. She props one bent arm on the other, pointing distractedly towards the heaves of the house. She is very enthusiastic. Steel is steel. It may be light, and it may take an edge well, but per complancta, the legends grow with each passing year.
If we could make something even half as good, we'd have a market at our doorstep and work enough for all of Stalwart.
Okay, what happened to Durgan's battery?
It don't bear dwelling on. There's too many superstitions about that place as it is.
Well, I still would like to know why the place was closed.
Killed each other off. Or so the old books say.
Thank you. Finally, a useful intervention.
Plenty of tales to go around, but none of them opened the battery. And the last thing people need is another reason to fear the place. Whatever it was, the other Pargrin dwarven settlements in the White March, Bone Picker, the Hawk, and the rest, emptied out not long after, moved to gentler, greener lands.
Had the right idea, if you ask me.
I don't see why you need the White Forge to make good steel. It's a fair point.
Finally, someone talking sense.
Durgan Steel wasn't just good. It was some of the best. We need the best if we're going to keep Stalwart alive. No one alive today has seen the White Forge, but the old stories tell that it was powerful, glowed white-hot, and gave off a steady, even heat, unlike any other furnace. Let better-schooled folk puzzle over how the thing was built. I just want to see it put to use.
Right. Tell me about the dwarves.
Pargrin's a word in their language. Means traveler. They've been wanderers for generations, but I couldn't tell you much more.
Okay, why has no one gotten into Durgan's battery?
Where should I start? Ogres, blizzards, or sheer damned inaccessibility? It ain't for lack of trying, I'll tell you that much. Got untold riches in Durgan Steel lying just inside, and never mind the White Forge itself. The Adirans who first settled Stalwart tried to crack it. So did the Valians, and every other cocky adventurer with more metal than sense. But the place has a funny way of sealing itself up. Front door stays shut, the tower entrances are clogged with rubble, and it's been impossible to blast a way in.
Okay, where do I begin?
The battery's up the mountain to the north, a good hike away.
Near Galvino's place, huh?
So it is, though I was going to suggest dealing with that ogre camp before anything.
Who's Galvino?
Mestre Galvino, as the old crosspatch prefers it, lives by himself and keeps the wilder and beasts at bay through sheer foulness of his temper.
She means to say he's a skilled smith and animancer, who's lived in the shadow of Durgan's battery for over a decade.
Looks like someone I should talk to. And by Animance's flimsy standards, that makes him an expert, does it? Maybe
And he butters
is.
his bread on both sides and fits his left shoe before his right. But that's neither here nor there.
Seems odd that he lives out in the wilderness by himself. Indeed, let's use my somewhat good intellect.
Not doing much worse than any of us.
Huh. He wore out his welcome in Stalwart. He's better off with ogres and Lagufoth as his neighbors now.
Lagafor. What happened with him?
Old lunatic finally went too far. And we sent word to the Valiant Academies. I don't like speaking on it, but if you want to get his guff, just remind him that we gave him the boot.
Ain't nobody here fond of the man, but he's a clever hand and a quick study. It's a fool who thinks he stayed so close to the battery without figuring something about it.
Fair point.
You said as much to the last party, and we haven't seen hide nor hair of him since. Maybe they didn't run afoul of Baragon's ogres after all. Just watch your step. Galvino's place is a ways east of the battery, and folk who pass it bring unsettling tales. Belongs to Flames that whisper. Matron Baragon's clan. Hunters tell me they've been active of late.
Hunting elk and otherwise minding their own damn business.
Minding their own business. Never mind the latest expedition's disappearance, or the broken stockade.
I'm saying we shouldn't agitate him further.
What does this matron have to do with anything?
The brawl outside was just the latest patch of trouble. The ogre clans are getting bolder, and we'll all sleep easier knowing they aren't circling our walls. Also, Baragons like to have whatever the last expedition found. Rumor has it they disappeared near her turf.
Killing a matron will only make our problems worse. The way to approach Baragon is with your hands held high.
If anyone could parley with an ogre, I suppose it'd be you. But they aren't known for their patience with prattle. Good. Before you leave town, stop by the Grave's Rest. Most visitors to Stalwart spend some time there, so Hafric and his patrons...
Don't know about you, but I'm posh all of a sudden. Are you now? We were there a second ago. I want to ask you about something.
What's on your
Was there
mind?
Anything? Yes, Pharaoh's expedition.
Who? Sorry, I don't recall. The last expedition I met disappeared weeks ago. Didn't give any names, but they definitely haven't come back this way. Don't mean the Sfeara weren't part of an expedition, though. We get groups passing by sometimes looking to try their luck. What's on your mind?
Yeah, information about the last expedition.
They didn't volunteer much, and I knew better than to ask. I've seen all types charging through here. Professional companies with shiny new equipment as brazen as you please, and hopeless runts with nothing but tattered leathers. But these folk, I don't know what they were after, and the way they looked at you made you feel cold all over. Wish I could tell you more.
Perhaps we'll find more in the battery itself, yeah?
What's on your mind?
No, that's it, I'm good. Did I level up? I did! Woohoo!
Something else you need?
Yeah, I think I'd like to hear your side of the story.
It's a fool's hope. A fantasy that's kept these parts inhabited longer than they should be. They say the Pargrunan dwarves developed Durgan steel, and then one day, they locked their doors and died. Nothing like a mystery to stir folk up. Most of Stalwart is convinced that some Pargrin secret will save us all. But that don't stop them from whispering a prayer when they pass the old fortress.
Okay, let's see how you would make peace with Matron Baragon.
About the only thing folk here haven't tried. Killing one more matron won't change things for long. Besides, her clan's Flames that whisper. The one that attacked us was Wolf with many mouths. I'd know him anywhere.
They're cut from the same cloth, Aldrich. Only a matter of time before Baragon marches through that gap in our walls.
I disagree. There might be reasonable ogres. You seem to disagree with Renegild on quite a few matters. That is very, very true.
Mother's convinced that a magic forge will turn this frozen crack into a hub of civilization. She can't accept this place is dying. Give up on what? There's nothing here.
What do you do besides
I'm a carpenter.
complain?
Mother's a builder. So it felt like a good fit at the time. Not that we've got a lot of new folk to build houses and furnishings for. These days, I spend most of my time fixing up the stockade.
Alright, thank you for that. I'm not gonna go back to the inn just yet. I'm afraid this is gonna be about exploration and grabbing as many quests as possible. And then head out in the wilderness. Come on. There we go. Not stealing your stuff, don't worry.
They gone? Have those? I heard the ogres outside, tearing down walls and murdering folk. Don't remember how things got this bad.
The elderly woman needs her hands. Her knuckles are swollen knobs, and her palms are ridged with calluses that scrape and rasp as she rubs them together.
But you're the new adventurer. Renengild's latest volunteer. A real spitfire, she told me. Bet you'd whip those layabouts at the mine into shape.
Let's talk.
Did you say something, dear?
Yes.
Me? I was the overseer at the mine, back when it was running. Got shut down decades ago when we couldn't sell or ship the stuff. But I still remember plenty about the mining business. And I got as many folk as I can digging out the entrance. Been praying to the salty wench that I don't forget too much afore they finish the job. Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
Okay, thanks for the info. Bye. So we have the sweet granny who knows a lot about mining in here.
Durance, do you take anything seriously? Or is the entire world just a setup for your idiotic punchlines?
The world is the punchline, Birdwoman. In all its weakness. Would you kill the messenger?
If he were as annoying as you, I'd consider it.
Lovely.
Me
isn't
and
she?
Sledge are thinking about heading down, joining a caravan over to Danae.
Freshly
Son,
caught!
what for? You like your ogres bigger?
We'd have work at least, and I'm damn sick of fish.
Fresh fish! Freshly caught! Effigy! Ah!
What was that? Did he fish a monster with the rest? I don't know. Oh yeah, okay. A dozen pairs of globular eyes stare up piteously from the discarded heads of the day's catch, awash in a pungent sea of fins and innards. Lovely. Sift through the fish scraps. Okay. Yeah. Your hand runs up against something round and fleshy, the size of a melon. It is smooth and scaleless, and parts seem to be covered in hair, a discarded head perhaps, but not that of a fish. Poke the head, pull it, okay, I'm gonna pull it. I better see what it is before I touch it. Brilliant. Okay, with one hand on either side of the head, you begin to lift it out of the barrel, only to have it leap from your grasp as the head's owner springs over the lip of the barrel in an eruption of fish chung that rains down over the market stall. Okay, portrait, I like that. The man who leapt from the barrel stands facing you, nearly naked save for a loincloth and drizzled of been fished viscera. Oh. He is covered head to toe in scars, tears and punctures, and the thorny imprints of lashing. Most are faded like old memories. Despite that, the condition of the man's body is remarkable. The dropping skin at his flanks and elbows the only evidence of his advanced age. His face is placid, but the rest of him appears prepared for anything.
You must forgive Zawa. I was not expecting you.
He looks you in the eye at first, but his gaze drifts now and then, settling on strange parts of your face as though distracted by new discoveries. If he is at all flustered, he gives no indication. What were you doing in that barrel? A fair point. Zahua scratches behind his ear, dismayed.
Resting my eyes, I thought. Waiting for the Malkachoa to bring me insight.
The what to what now? It would seem I dozed. A good thing my master was not alive to see it.
It would seem I dozed.
Okay.
A good thing my master was not alive to see it.
Sorry, you are too slow to speak. Zahua blinks, leaning in to get a better look at you. His enlarged pupil seems to crowd out his pale irises.
Are you real?
Oh my, you're a funny one, aren't you? Yes, I am.
Of course. I meant no offense. But I find it is best to ask when Malkachoa is involved.
It's funny, that name reminds me of Maya or Inca deities. I forgot the name. The snake one. Okay, tell me about Malkachoa.
A small white mushroom. I have heard it called snowcap in these lands.
Uh-huh.
It can reveal the true nature of many things.
Right, you have a master. The man traces your inadvertent glance at his cards. He smiles politely.
A teacher, not an owner. Zawa is a free man. Well, as free as any of us.
Mm-hmm.
I was freeing myself from vanity.
Indeed. It's fair point, Eder, fair point.
Consider, how can one be vain who is bathed in the smell of dead fish?
Hard to argue with that, yes. Yep, hard to argue with that.
I had the idea when I passed this way earlier. I am pleased with the results so far.
He smiles at a woman whose head is swiveled towards him as he passes by, a look of revulsion on her face. Distracted, her toe catches on a stone and she nearly falls on her face. He claps his hands together.
Yes, quite pleased.
Are those scars from battle? They look odd. I mean, looking at the portrait.
From battle, yes. I left them upon my enemies. These were struck against fear. These against pleasure. These against hatred. Those down there against greed and doubt. And these were for vanity.
You scarred yourself. I'm not sure I felt too comfortable with that.
I cannot take credit for all of them, but I did most of the good ones. I put them there in battle to remind myself what is real and what is not. Our worst enemies are inventions of the mind, pleasure, fear. When we see them for what they are, we become unstoppable.
I don't think he has. I'm thinking he's still trying. He was trying to find a way to get rid of vanity. But still, I'm going to go for number one.
I feel I have been close, but never for more than an instant. In the moment when the pain is sharpest, the world becomes clear. In that moment, I am a match for anyone.
You don't seem like you're from around here.
I was visiting a monastery not far from here. I found it empty, but I met a messenger as I left. He carried a call for aid. Seeing that he would find no monks at the monastery, I chose to go in their place. Zawa is no longer young, but in combat he is still the greatest of the Takan people. It seemed only right that he should go.
Right. Stalwart hired me as well. Maybe
I would
we
not say
should...
I am hired. I seek no wage, and I promise no result. I have chosen a path, and my spoils come from walking it.
Fine. But I think we should join, maybe. An uneasy frown settles on his face, almost a wince.
And this fortress, this Durgan's battery, its people are gone. Zawa would know why.
Fair enough. Could use the help of an experienced warrior. I could, but who do I replace?
If one wishes to swim, it is no time to argue with the current. We are here together in this moment because a perfect force has willed it. Who is Zawa to argue? I will walk with you so long as the gods wish it so.
Okay. Now, the tricky question. I have no idea. I'm thinking maybe Sagani. I mean, I prefer the companion fox to her, to be honest. Definitely keeping Alof. I need the priest. Definitely need to keep those two tanks, especially if I don't keep Sagani and her pet. I mean, companion. Anyway, I believe I can change my party at the inn.
Farewell.
So, let's see. Just have to have a look at him.
Age has slowed me.
Okay, let's... What's that? Wounds.
Zawa is ready.
Brilliant. Oh, that's a lot of scars, honestly. So, you are level 7 monk. Okay, brilliant. You have second wind already. A lot of survival, okay. Transcend suffering plus 8 unarmed accuracy. So he's not going to be using any weapons. Fighting spirit. It's a passive. Increases, okay. Force of anguish. Requires 2. Oh, so he needs to get wounded to get his ability going. And I'm looking at a portrait now. I'm having a sense of looking at Captain Picard with lots of scars. Rooting pain. All his skills sound very, very, very painful. That looks like a good skill. Stunning blow. Two per encounter, I like those. Weapon focus peasant, 2 weapon style. That's odd. I would expect him to be wearing to be wielding
Yes.
weapon. Okay, what do we have? This is melee only. You need to have 2 wounds for that to work. Fair enough. This is melee only. You need to have a wound for it to work. You have 2 per encounter. This is okay. I know this one. You don't seem to be carrying much in the way of gear. Oh, he has 2-handed. Look at that, he's got hair. It's just well hidden. Oh, all these cars. He's wearing a monk outfit. Just, oh, is that only for monks? It doesn't say. It can have lots of enhancements. I'm just quite curious to see if I can wear it and how I'd look with it. Pretty wild. Not great when running around in the snow. So there, keep your monk outfit. Right. Sorry, one thing left to do. Level up. There. What do I give you? More athletics and more survival. You're okay. Right now he is using a two-handed sword. Vigorous defense could be good. 1 per encounter increases your defense. So that's a moment where you're surrounded and you just want to protect yourself. Oh, that looks interesting. Unbending. 3 per rest. Oh, 50% of damage taken converted to healing over time. I like that. Discipline barrage. Guardian stance. Friendly aura plus 10 deflection. That could be good. Clear out. Alright, I really like, which one was selected? I really like the discipline barrage. No. The fighter draws strength from his or her own indomitable spirit, causing them to regenerate 50% of endurance lost from an attack. Kind of like that. He loses accuracy, but people around him don't take as much damage. I don't know if that's a warrior specific skill, because that would be something I'd give to Pallegina. Alright, I'm going for this one. And we're done. Right. Alos. Ah, he looks so fab. We are going to increase your athletics. There's no point really. Though it's so weak at it, it hurts. There. Better bonuses when I sleep. I can get 2 extra spells. Alright. I thought I had that one. Or am I confusing it? Silicon, nah. Infuse with vital essence. What does that do? Right, so basically fortify health. No. Arcane dampener. Minor blights. No. No, it's kind of nice. But it already has a pretty good ranged weapon, so no point for it. Poison cloud that does corrode damage and leaves victims sickened. I'm guessing there's a friendly fire for that. Confusion. I usually like to confuse the enemies. Confuse for 10 seconds is not bad. Dimensional shift. Switches the location of the caster and one ally, leaving a shockwave between them. That stuns. I like that. I'm taking that. Definitely. Good to get out of a tight spot and unpleasant for the enemies. Create a ghostly double of the caster, causing shock damage to enemies hit by it. That's quite nice. Flame shield, freeze damage reduction and burn damage. Meh. Iron skin, is it only for the caster? Yes. So no. I like those two. That's what I'm going for. There we go. So it looks like I've collected most of the level 1 spells and... Alright, this is me. I have some lore. I have a bit of everything. I can't help it. I have to look for a new armor. I mean, I look ridiculous in the snow like that. Honestly. Stealth, because I'm the one usually running around. Though mechanics, I am the one opening the locks. I haven't met a thief companion or something. I could use a thief companion. Until then, I'm the one with the mechanics. I can learn a new phrase. So, friendly aura plus 25 defense against frightened attack. Okay, that's good if my enemies are frightened. Rime and Frost followed the footfall of cars. Allies leave a hazardous trail of frost wherever they move, hobbling and causing freeze damage to enemy. Oh, that sounds interesting. Sure-handed, Illa knocked her arrow with speed. Plus 20 reload speed, plus 20... The fox from the farmer did run and leap. I believe that's the one I want. There, well, that was quick. Okay, new party. Ready to go and venture. Maybe. No, really just don't have anything for you. Nothing at all. I should have taken the stuff from Sagani and see what she can, what he can equip. Nonetheless, I have a party that is pretty much ready to head out. I still have to talk to that person, apparently. Very important. Can't miss it. Have a look in the temple. I'm guessing that's a shop. I have no money right now. And the falls are that way. Okay. Oh well. We're gonna keep that for next week's episode. So thank you all for watching and see you next week. Bye bye.